Action!
Wait, do I get to do this?
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, right on. Well, Gateway's got a lot of things coming up.
It does,
And
yep.
Paul, I want you to tell me what's coming up this season
Okay,
why.
Okay, sure. So we just, I'll go back to the pandemic. We couldn't do anything for 2 years more or less.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been planning and having meetings, but there's only so much satisfaction you can get out of doing that. So we decided we really needed to have a lot of shows, a lot of different initiatives. So normally a Gateway season would be 3 shows. We're doing 4. The first one, Einstein, has just been on a couple of weeks ago by Gabriel Emanuel, and it was meant to be on as the 3rd show in the season 2019-2020, and that's when the pandemic happened, so it got postponed. So we finally brought that back, a one-man show with Blair. Then we've got a trilogy, a connected trilogy of plays, all by David French. It's referred to as...
Before you get further into that, how did Einstein go?
Oh, Einstein went very well in terms of audience feedback. Audience numbers weren't fabulous.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but also I think audiences are coming quite slowly back to live events. But yeah, and in particular, I think the Saturday night, normally, you get a lot of people on the Saturday night, but there was some big event at the Capitol, I think, on the Saturday night. Yeah.
Grape stomping at the Davedi Club, too.
Right. Oh, okay. So,
That's huge.
Yeah, so lots of things. Because you can kind of tell normally you get the some of the audience in, and then you watch as it gets bigger and bigger, and then this one went, and it just stopped.
Yeah.
But certainly the audience who were there really made a point of saying how much they enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. So,
cool.
So I was happy with it artistically, and it was great fun working with Rick on this show.
You guys were at Odyssee, right?
Yeah, and we're at Odyssée, and so venues have been a big issue for us because we were performing in Odyssée some years ago, and there had been some issues with equipment and so on, and we went to Whitterfield for a few years, and that's really the best theatre in town. For me anyway, and it's it's a friendlier space, it's more adaptable.
Yeah, I went to one of the plays there, two of them.
Yeah, and so it's a bit like an ancient Greek theatre inside, that kind of shape, and so it's very, very good, and they had good equipment and so on. Although one show that I did there, the first show that I did there, all the equipment collapsed, the whole system collapsed about a week before we went on.
Ouch!
But it got fixed. But in any case, we're at Odyssée, and Odyssée is still a good space, and we're establishing good working relations with the school, and they're gradually fixing their equipment. They've still got a few issues, but and it was actually a good space for Einstein. It worked very well for that. So then we've got the Mercer Trilogy, which is there are actually 5 pieces, all dealing with, called the Mercer Trilogy because it's the Mercer family. And it starts, in the 1940s, I think, is the earliest one chronologically. But the Mercer Trilogy were the first 3 in what then became known as the cycle, the Mercer cycle. But the Mercer Trilogy was Leaving Home was the first one, then Of the Fields Lately.
Keep going.
Yep. And then the third piece, Saltwater Moon, is actually the earliest of those 3 chronologically.
I got to be in character, man.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right.
Because Leaving Home there's 2 sons, aged 17 and 18, and the father and the mother, and both sons are leaving home, hence the name. And one of them's getting married, and that doesn't turn out well. But and the other one wants to leave home as well, and there's a big rupture, an argument with the father. The second play is 2 years later, where they have all left home, but the younger son Ben comes back. And what you discover in the meantime is the father's had a series of heart attacks, and he's probably not going to be able to work. And you learn that after the play finishes, he actually dies, soon afterwards. So, but there's still all the family dynamics. So you get a lot of family dynamic in this trilogy. And then the third play, Saltwater Moon, is actually set right back when the father, Jacob, and Mary, I think, is it Mary? Yes. The mother, when they're 17, or 17 and 18. And it's their kind of getting together, although it's the second time they've got together. But so it's a bit of a story behind that. And it's only the two characters, and so it goes back in time to kind of give you the backstory to those two.
Interesting.
So it's interesting, and we're doing it in that order because that's the order in which they were written.
What's the first one? When?
What year is it set?
No. When is it going to play?
Oh, I see. That's Saltwater Moon is May. I've got the dates here. May the 10th to the 13th.
Okay.
But so that's the first one chronologically. But the first in the series, in the trilogy, Leaving Home is November the 30th to December the 3rd this year. And then Of the Fields Lately is March 8 to 11. And Saltwater Moon from May 10 to 13. And then we're hosting QUONTA, the regional festival, immediately after that. So that's on the week following, from May 18 to 20. There's only 3 regional groups, including us, in it this year, or next year rather. So Leaving Home is being directed by Tania, Webb. Of the Fields Lately is being directed by Loretta, Eugenio, and Saltwater Moon directed by Johanna, McPherson.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good celebration for an anniversary.
Yeah, and because it's Gateway's 75th birthday next year, formed in 1948, we have a series of other initiatives, and some of them are tied into the 75th. So we have a big archives project going on at the moment, where we're really trying to, it's got several layers. One is to make sure that the existing archives, which go all the way back to 1948, they basically consist of big display folders with newspaper clippings and programs and photos and so on, that they're complete. But we know that the last, probably 8 years or so are not in good shape. So we have to get all that material back again and fill in, right up to the present. But also alongside of that is like an oral history project where we're in various ways interviewing people and saying, well, tell us the story about, that show and whatever. And that's happening both, and we've got an exhibition that's on at the North Bay Museum from January for about 3 or 4 months. And so for that, we've got Cogico very kindly agreed to produce a program of about 50 minutes, and we've already shot the material for that. I remember. So it's people in threes, but with one person talking at a time, but talking about, what they first did when they got to Gateway, or, famous stories about things. And we also we're going to have a series of events which I like to call scandal nights, which is some events that happened during productions that make a great story.
Oh, cool.
Doesn't have to be completely scandalous, but some of them would be good if they were.
I'm interested in those. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to those. That idea came from the 70th birthday celebration,
right,
where some older members got up and told some funny stories. And that was very soon after I became president. And I thought, oh, this is great. These are fantastic stories, and some of those people are really good storytellers. So we wanted to kind of get that rolling, and that needs to have alcohol too. I think it's going to be the right kind of atmosphere for it. So we'll
liquid libation gets the tongue rolling. That's for sure, and the belly laughing.
That's right. So those are the main things.
Not that we need booze to have a good time.
Oh no, we don't. No.
Sometimes cookies.
So then we've got. I forgot to mention, in terms of, it's not really a production, but we're going to have us, I think it might have been Loretta's idea again, but a staged reading of a very silly Italian kind of restaurant comedy at the Davedi Club on December the 14th this year. Yeah. We're still reading a couple of different plays to find the right one. But so it'll be a dinner theatre kind of, and not a full production, but just a reading.
I like that.
Yeah. We'll rehearse it a bit, so.
December 14th at Davedi.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Right
on. And then we've got play readings with and for seniors, which was definitely Loretta's idea. And that is where we get groups of seniors, and seniors can be, well, it's either 55 or 60 or 65 or whatever you like, really.
57. Hey.
57, okay, you're in.
Yeah.
Different programs define it differently, but we've applied for a grant from the Seniors Community Grant Program, they say it's 55, so we went, oh, okay, that'll do. And it's where it's a regular series of readings where seniors come together, they sign up, and then we choose the play, or Loretta will choose the play, and we just come together and read it and have fun and have some refreshments.
Oh.
And it's like no experience necessary, there's no audience, it's just to read and be stimulated and not be isolated.
Outreach and social exercise.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and as an example of what we do, Loretta is here with a snippet of a play, another play by David French. We do plays not by David French, but this is like an example of the kind of thing we do. And so she's going to sit here, and I'm going to be a voice off stage.
Come on to my studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul. Did I hear you say you were 57?
Yes.
So this is perfect.
Yeah.
You don't have to have any experience or understand any of the vocabulary or memorize any
Finally, a
lines.
job I am experienced for.
Okay, so I've asked Paul to read the stage directions and the voice of Nick,
Yes.
the stage manager.
Okay. So, in this scene from Jitters, David French's comic masterpiece about the theatre, actors have just finished rehearsing a scene from a new Canadian drama. Actor Phil Mastorakis, who's Dave, is talking to director George Ellsworth, Loretta will read that, about his inability to remember his lines. Robert Ross, the playwright, is on the set overhearing their conversation and suffering. The voice of Nick, the stage manager, which I will do, comes over the intercom.
So which one am I again?
You're George, I'm Phil.
Okay, there, I'm ready for it. So do I start it off?
Anytime.
You don't need a prompter. That's all in your head. You just got off book this morning. The other actors have off book for 2 weeks.
Sure, rub it in.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's why you're a little unsure of the line still. You got 4 reviews. You got 4 previews. By the time we open, you'll be word perfect.
What if I dry?
Why should you?
I always dry.
That doesn't mean you will this time. Stop thinking that way.
George, I have long speeches in this play, words coming out my ears. If I stumble, I could skip 10 pages and not know it. You want 10 minutes off the running time? I could easily slash 20 minutes off and still take all my beats and pauses.
Robert sits on the sofa and puts his face in his hands.
Phil, you worry too much. You expect it to go dry, so you dry. Forget about the lines. I don't care if you get it word perfect. Neither does Robert. Isn't that so, Robert?
Robert nods, his face in his hands.
George, take part of my salary. Pay some kid to stand in the wings with a book. I'll buy the flashlight, only don't take away my safety net. Look at me. Knots in my stomach. It's only a preview. Think how I'll be on opening night. My throat tightens. My heart, George, my heart hammers so loud in my ears I sometimes miss my first cue.
Well, calm down.
It's so bad I once thought of taking lip reading.
You're working yourself into a stew.
I know. And to look at me, you'd think I had nerves of steel, right? Phil, they say, Phil, you're so relaxed on stage. If only they knew, George, if only they knew. Inside I'm 20 different flavors of Jell-O and a pulse rate of 140.
Over the PA, Nick says, George, if Phil has recovered sufficiently, I would like to get this show on the road. All actors should be in position. I would like the stage cleared.
Sorry, Phil. We'll have to do this another time. You just don't underestimate yourself. You're a pro.
He takes his seat on the aisle.
You bet your life I'm a pro. You think a novice like Tom would stand here pleading? begging and groveling. He hasn't had the experience. I know what it's like to be terrified. I'm a seasoned veteran. So bear that in mind when I implore you not to make me face the audience cold. Would you ask a man afraid of heights to jump out of an airplane without a parachute? God bless you, but there's a limit, George. A limit to what a man can do for art. I'm only human. And don't hand me that crap you can't afford it. If you can afford to buy me shoes, you can afford a prompter.
For the last time, can we please clear the stage? We'll be starting in 1 minute. That's 60 seconds. Lights begin to dim and music starts.
I see I'm wasting my breath. Okay, have it your way, old buddy.
He starts to exit.
Just don't say I never warned you. I love this play, and if I botch it, I'll never forgive you.
He exits backstage.
That was fun.
Thank you.
Good job. Right on.
Oh. So yeah, we actually read that play in full with our second reading. We've had a couple of them already.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it is great fun.
And how's it go? Like, can you get many people or?
We got enough people. Yeah, it's building up. The
Right
whole
on.
kind of project is building up, and it needs to ramp up into another level, and we're on track to do that.
Where's this done? Is it different clubs or homes?
It will, at the moment, it's in the Trinity Church fireside room,
Okay.
but we're going to take it into retirement villages, into different community centres around, and possibly a bit more spread wider than Northway itself, possibly a little bit in the region, but
Oh,
it
cool.
depends on logistics and
Yeah.
things. So it's really a great project, and it's designed to just bring people together, bring seniors together, and have fun.
Oh, right on. I like
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah. We all need fun.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a good way for the Gateway Theatre Guild to reinvigorate after a bit of a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that's needed not only because of the pandemic. I think I've been in North Bay 10 years, and I wasn't involved in Gateway until 2018. But it's my impression that Gateway needs now to broaden its scope of activities to include a range of smaller, activities that are not so logistically difficult as a production, but also to include more people, to broaden, who we see as the community or the communities, because there are different communities. And so we're trying to start to work with Indigenous playwrights like Tania Chartrand and others, trying to find a way to connect regularly with new arrivals. That's a little bit more difficult. But anyway, this is what we're trying to do. But so increase or broaden our range of activities and who we're doing them with. And one other initiative that I want to mention is what we call New and Local, which is trying to encourage and nurture new writing by local people, wherever they've come from, or been here forever. It doesn't matter, So that's really the first thing we do there is find the authors, and these can be standard plays, traditional plays, or they can be very different kinds of works. Again, that's part of our mandate that at least we've given ourselves to increase the different kind of activities that that we're engaging with.
Got any schedules or dates for that?
No, that comes up here and there. It depends on which plays have been written.
Oh, okay.
So we've done 2 different playwrights so far. Tania Chartrand is one of them, and we've done 2 readings of her play, and 1 reading of another play by a local who's also an academic historian at Nipissing, but he's written a number of plays. And so, and we have another one which we're just today starting to organise, which is an interesting one. It's by a local teacher, and it's based in Russian history, and it's a full-on theatrical number, And Tania, her play, we did a second reading where we we call it a staged reading. It just means we move it a little bit without. It's important when you do that not to raise the expectations of a performance, because it's not. It's still a reading, but you just kind of move it a little bit so it comes alive. And she's interested in taking that to an Indigenous fringe festival, which would be great, fantastic, sometime next year.
Yeah, I know Tara. She works here at the NRCC, and she's excellent. Yeah, right on.
And so we'll organise a third one, and then we're going to try and attract more people to that, because at the moment, I mean, not that many people know it exists. We've put it out in our newsletter. We have a new newsletter called the Gateway Grapevine. So
if anybody wants to receive that newsletter, email me, presidentgtg@gmail.com. Okay.
You can also look at our website, and it's been redone, our website, so it's looking good. Redone by one of the new councillors before she became too busy.
That was Justine?
Justine Muller, yeah.
Yeah, right on.
So, and there'll be other things that we do too, as we kind of, somebody comes up with an idea and we go, yes, we can do that. Good,
So you got a lot of theatrical blood pumping.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And I don't have time to do my job.
Too, right on.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's a good way to celebrate your 75th and get things back on track.
It felt very much like we needed to make a bit of a bang in order for us to be able to kind of know we're still here, and in fact busier than usual. So.
Well, cool.
And it's been, I should just say, it's been interesting being part of, just watching the filming, the Kochiko filming of older members talking about their first production or just something they remember, including someone who then went on to work in film, and he mentioned in his interview he worked with J-Lo and with Farrah Fawcett and some pretty big names, and he said he had 80 film credits, and it all began with Gateway Theatre Guild, so he was very appreciative.
Who was that?
Ron Payne.
Oh, right on. I know that name. Wow.
He hasn't lived here, I think, for quite a while, but yeah. So
I do know that name though. Was he up at the college for some reason? Why am I thinking that?
Don't know.
Payne. Anyways.
Yeah. But it's just great to.
I only go back to
stories,
86 here, so
right, new person.
Yeah, relatively new.
Yeah.
Well, I know the theater companies in town there are really trying to find homes, right? So
yeah, very much. And
that's a tough thing.
Yeah, it is a tough thing. Venue, I mean, a home in various ways. You need an office, a presence. We also share this office, so that's actually great. But somewhere to rehearse, somewhere to store a whole lot of things, costumes. We now have an enormous costume stock because we were building up, and we got donated something like 70 boxes full of costumes from a group in Sudbury who folded.
Oh, well. Any size 9 winter boots there? I know
that could well be, but you would contact Kim, our wardrobe mistress, who knows everything about what's there.
My goal is before it snows to get some winter boots. I'm hoping not to have to buy them.
Right. Well, yeah.
Well, that's right on.
Yeah. So, and I'm now, obviously, that Dermot Wilson is part of this group, but that doesn't seem to have a name yet, but looking for, trying to find a way to build community arts network, basically, in North Bay, and I've been invited to be on that as well now, so we'll be meeting every 2 weeks to advance that cause. And what it really needs is groups to work together. It doesn't make sense to work in isolation at all, I think. In North Bay, you've got to work together. So.
Yeah, the scale of economies there is that, there's so much to gain efficiency-wise that we don't all do, every group doing all the same admin, doing all the same...
That's right, and also often conflicting. I mean, it's not that anyone means to do that, but if you don't coordinate, then you don't know when anyone else is doing their productions or activities, and you want to make sure that everyone
Well, you don't even want to have dates mixed up, right? You
No,
don't want to
exactly,
compete
yeah.
against each other on opening nights and stuff like that. And it could happen, right?
Yeah,
it has happened.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, and so I mean, I've been checking lately with Dreamcoat, but now they're, of course, there's a whole story there. But you know, so they're really short of a venue now, and we would all like Widderfield to become available to us.
Yeah. Well, maybe now that
Councillors.
Jay Aspen's gone there,
Well,
who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, what will happen? But I know that one of the new trustees is very keen to make that available.
Is that Chantal?
Yes.
Yeah. No, she's a fire plug for sure.
Yeah.
I think she'll get some stuff done. That was my only regret when Jay got voted off, that he didn't have to face off with Erica,
Right.
Lougheed, and Chantal, because I thought that was going to be amusing. There'd be some theater at the board. But he took exit stage left.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did. I don't know Jay Espen, so I don't
No,
know.
just me poking him, because I've been poking him for
Yeah,
years.
right, yeah.
I don't want to pull you into my messes.
But that would be great, because Widderfield's not just the great theatre, but there's dance studio and there's dressing rooms and music studio, and you know.
What are they doing with that now? Is that being rented out to producers
No.
or anything like that?
I think some film has got in there.
Yeah.
Some film, I think, but I'm not too sure, because it's very, very. It's been impossible basically to get a response from anybody who would know what's going on. They just don't answer.
Yeah, that's their communication strategy.
Yeah. It's a bit like insurance companies. You know.
Yeah, they'll call when it's time to renew.
Just wear you out until you go away.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's probably enough. Was there anything else?
I can't read.
The dates for the readings.
Oh, the dates for the
Oh
readings.
yes, okay. For the
See, I don't have my glasses on, so I only saw the one big dates.
Yeah, we like dates. Yeah. Yes, in fact, the play readings with and for seniors. So we have November the 24th is the next one.
Oh, okay.
Then December the 15th, January the 26th, February the 23rd, and March the 23rd. And then there will be more as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
So the 14th at the Davedi for...
December the 14th at Davedi, yeah.
And then the seniors play reading the next night?
Yes. No, next morning, in fact.
Next morning?
Yeah. 9 a.m. next morning, yeah, that'll be...
But we're looking to add evenings and weekends.
Yes, we are. That's very important. We're looking to add evenings and weekends for the play readings, because some people who have said they would like to come can't come at 9 a.m. or they've got a yoga class at 10 a.m. or something, you know, so... And initially we had thought we would do them on Saturday afternoon, which is the time that most people can be there. But then the room at Trinity was available on Thursday morning, so we went, yeah, sure, we'll try for that. But
Oh, you got a full plate.
yes, well, in fact, the one of the readings was the day after Einstein opened, so we seem to be doing that. It's like, well, you're on a roll, just carry on till the next morning.
Yeah, which can be fun.
And have another cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Well, I know there's going to be another story for the winter edition for the magazine, and we're going to cover a bit of this.
Great.
There was a story in the fall that's kind of set the stage, so to speak. And I'd like to hopefully do some more coverage as you move along.
That'd be terrific.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. That's it. Right on. It's a wrap.